You want to start it off?
Sure, I can start it off.
You go ahead.
It's the first question I wrote down,
Okay.
which was very funny to me. Well, what do you think is the dumbest thing I've ever said to you?
The dumbest thing that you've ever said to me?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I could pick one thing. Like, nothing's really coming to mind, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I was 16, you were 17. We were on the cruise back in the almighty year of 2007.
Okay,
we were
we're
going
going
down to the
deep.
Bahamas. We were at the Cracker Barrel somewhere in probably South Carolina, something like that.
Yeah.
And we had finished eating breakfast, us and the entire school trip. And we were all getting our plates taken away. And you opened up a thing of butter and you scooped it out and you just licked it off a knife and you just turned and you're like, I love butter. I think that line goes hard, but I wouldn't say that's stupid. I think that's some truth.
I mean, yeah. Who doesn't like butter?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a moment of purity that I definitely.
It's one of my many.
I keep in my locket.
One of my many moments of eating food excessively in ways like, and I don't mean food. I mean like butter or mayonnaise or things of that nature.
Yeah. No, you've definitely put in the work when it comes to the butter and the mayonnaise without food accompaniment.
Yeah.
What do you think is the dumbest thing that you've ever said to me?
That I've ever said to you? I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think if there's anything I said where it was like dumb enough that you were actually mad that I that I said it. But I can't think of anything right now.
What's the dumbest thing I've said to you?
Oh, I don't know. Where to begin?
Exactly.
Fucking. I'm trying to think if there's anything recent because I should have thought of my own answer to this and I didn't. One time, okay, this was a good one. I remember. I think we were in New York. We weren't doing band stuff. We were just on a trip with friends, and we were in a cab, and you were looking at the picture, and you were trying to be funny, so it wasn't that dumb, but it was funny because it was dumb. And you said, Kyle, if we focus, we can have haircuts like these guys.
I do recall that.
Which was a good one. So that's an all-time. That's a good line.
Let me ask you this. What is the worst show that you've ever played?
Like
Could be us, could be anyone that you've ever played with.
Like worst is like my personal performance or like overall the show was just a shit time.
The show that fills you with, I guess, yeah, we got to kind of like quantify it or like come up with some criteria, but like, it's still allowed to fill you with a bit of a glow, but only because of the distance between you and that event.
Well, I think when I think about it, there's one pretty like, which you might agree. There's like, I mean, there's a funniness to it, but there's one I think of that has like, now when I look back on it, it's really funny. But at the time, it was like, oh, we really shouldn't have done that.
Fucked it.
Was at Mohawk College.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to go to the show where Ryan can play.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And you and Dave got really drunk.
Yeah. So just to contextualize this a little bit, we had won a Battle of the Bands the year before, and that somehow entitled us to sit on a panel of people evaluating this year's bands, and we had an unlimited bar tab, and we were 19 or 20 maybe, and it was a big mistake on their part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I was hammering pints, like, just like croaking into the mic, like, yeah, it was a really good set, good job. And then we had to play at the end, but Kyle wasn't there because he went to see Joel Plaskett.
Yeah. But I did make it.
You did make it.
It ended up happening that I could make the show, so I showed up.
We played with Ryan.
And it was like,
Played a
I
few
can just play. And you guys were like, well, Ryan, practice.
Yeah.
So he should do it. And it was like, okay. And he did his best. He was good.
Yeah, he's fine. He wasn't the main problem on that stage.
Yeah, that's just fair. And then I came up and tried to do some with you guys at the end, but it was
We were just too.
it was hopeless.
we
So
were
that
too
was
fucked.
one, but that was just like we were young and didn't.
And we had a free bar tab.
And a
What are
free
you
bar tab.
gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But like I don't know, actual bad. Where I was like, ugh, that was rough. I was trying to think what like the first thing that came to mind is.
I mean,
do you
when
have
we-
one?
I don't know. Some of the times that we've played to nobody, like literally nobody, have been pretty rough. But I mean, that's happened so many times that it doesn't really like. There's not really one that stands out,
Yeah.
Especially in some of those like early U.S. tours where we show up and we're like, well, hopefully some people come, and they just didn't. So a couple of those, but there was enough of those for that to just kind of be a category of bad show.
Yeah. I remember, I guess recently, that show that we did last in San Diego was not fun.
Like earlier this year.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
It was really loud on stage, couldn't hear anything, and it wasn't like we were
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
playing like a venue that was maybe a bit big, but
Yeah.
that was, and there was like no green room, but I don't know, those like that happens once a week.
Yeah. It just that is the life of rock and roll. But yeah, that one I don't remember walking away from that one with a particularly warm and fuzzy feeling. But I think one of the worst shows I ever played was when I played in that band with Mike Hahn and all those guys.
Yeah.
And you and I think we played a show like maybe the first Nil show ever.
Yeah.
And then I had to drive and go play a show with those guys or something like that. And I just didn't know any of the songs. Like I had to play bass, and I hadn't been rehearsing with them or anything. I had to get up on stage. Like that, I think, is the worst feeling. Like it's funny now, but like I just didn't give two hoots about that show. Like I was just completely focused on our show.
Yeah.
And I remember getting up and being like, I don't know, like I vaguely remember this song. I vaguely remember that, and like just back turned to the audience the whole time, like beedle-doo-doo, like just
trying to
not,
figure
yeah,
it
not good, not
No.
good. But didn't matter. It was at a church. Nothing that happens at a church matters. So
Yeah.
as we say,
Church shows.
church shows. What are you gonna do? Yeah, but I think that's. I don't know. Like, there's not really like anything that's like been really bad that happened to show, like a wounding or like a something crazy. Like usually it kind of elevates that show to a special place, but
Definitely.
it's hard to really pick like what a terrible, terrible show is unless even the ones that we've buffed up, like
Yeah, they all kind of have a shine now, or like, well, we were doing this, so it was still kind of sick.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, I had one and it just went away. Just Warped Tour. A lot of Warped Tour days are rough.
Yeah, I mean, you could just basically put that 90% of that tour in that category.
Yeah. Just melting in the sun while kids with vapes ask you where another band is.
Yeah. Where's August Burns Red playing? I don't know, buddy.
I'm playing here right now.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, that was definitely, I don't know, Warped Tour was for me the first time where my convictions were challenged on rock and roll.
Oh,
In
yeah.
general. Like, I think that everything up till that point, it was like, this is just a stepping stone. So, just take the hit and advance the puck. But that one was just it was a meat grinder of disappointment for so much of it. I mean, it yielded fruit and positive results eventually, but like, it's tough when you're not playing to anybody, you're not selling any merch, you're on the stage that God forgot. Shout out to the Ernie Ball stage. Ernie Ball stage, I mean, we obviously lots of good stuff happened because of that, but it was just like, I think I think also like before then when we'd have bad shows, like there would be another good show after it, or like even if we had a string of bad shows, it'd be like, well, that's just how it goes. But the daily reminder that we're having these bad shows, but like there are many bands on this tour that are having great shows every day and are like killing it at the merch table and being like, how old are you? Oh, I'm older than you? Fuck. Like being like, am I too old for rock and roll? I was 24. We
were still quite young.
I think that was the first time when I was just like, man, like, am I cut out for this? And I mean, like at the end, like I was like, fuck yeah. But there was a middle section there where it was some rough sledding.
Oh yeah, it's tough to get up every day with the thought in your head that nobody cares, nobody's listening.
Yeah, yeah.
You are not important and you do not matter to anybody.
You're not an asset to this
not
tour.
in this jail cell parking lot.
No. But we made a lot of good friends, and eventually all the guitar techs and a lot of the bands came and watched us, and we still cherish those friendships.
Oh, absolutely.
Today. But that was a tough one.
Yeah, but thanks for having us, Kevin.
Thank you for having us on the Warped Tour. It's funny because that was when I was a kid. That was like one of my goals. It was like, wow, you got to get on the Warped Tour, and then we got on the Warped Tour, and it was
Got to get off the
Warped Tour. Yeah. But yeah, one of my questions to you was what are your kind of like early memories of like right when we first started? Like, paint me a picture. Like, what do you see?
I see
right at the beginning.
I just see two guys who were very content with playing the only thing that had been written for like hours. I just have vivid memories of playing certain songs or parts of songs for hours on end. It was as if it was the only thing we played that day.
Yeah.
Never anything else, just the same. And we just jammed a lot. I think one of the first shows we played, we only know 2 or 3 songs. One was like the first song, which was Rotten Apples. And then like maybe like part of it though, like it wasn't done. It was just like as much as we knew, and then we jammed.
Yeah.
And then there was we had a jam around EGA, and we jammed that for like ever. And then maybe we played a cover, and I couldn't tell you what we played.
I don't even know if we played a cover. I think we just may
just
have played those 2 songs.
Yeah. So I remember that really well.
No vocals. Well, maybe there was vocals. Maybe I think I had written most of Rotten Apples by the time we played our first show.
Like at the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember just like being really nervous and cranking my guitar way too loud and feeding back and shit.
So I remember we used to do really wacky, at least me, I would try to wear way wacky shit on stage sometimes.
You did. A lot of stuff on the head.
A lot of stuff on my head. Headlamp.
A lay.
Wore a whole like track singlet outfit that was weird. Really, it's just 2 guys trying to figure out who they are.
Right.
But
rainbow suspenders. I had rainbow suspenders.
You had rainbow suspenders one time. Did some bold stuff. Were we good? We were good enough.
We were good enough. We were the best band at that goddamn high school. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just guys with big hair.
Big hair.
Just trying to figure it out. Whose only dream was like, we will play the Casbah.
Yeah, that was the goal. That was like going to Mars. One day we're going to play the Casbah. I remember the first time we played in Hamilton was at the Underground, and we sold all the tickets that they gave us to sell, and all of our friends came down, and it was a weeknight. And
and no one was there otherwise.
Yeah, the only people that were there were the people we brought out. And, you have a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds that have been like dropped off or taken the bus downtown. And I remember like immediately us getting like bumped to play last so that like everybody at this show could have people watching. And we're like, yo, but like we got to go to school tomorrow. And they're like, we don't fucking care. Like,
Yeah.
you guys.
My
are
dad
going
was like,
last.
what is going on?
Yeah.
Just drove us.
Yeah.
I also like that the headliner was like a solo musician,
Lady Fingers.
Lady Fingers, and then the other band was kind of like a screamy, heavy band called The Guest Bedroom. I remember that.
Yeah.
There was one other band.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I remember Lady Fingers and the other one.
Yeah, I just remember the bass player was like a giant man.
I do remember that. I just remember like looking around the room at our friends, like waiting so long for us to play, and all of our friends were like this
Yeah.
at the back, just waiting for us to play. But yeah, I mean that's
They
how it
never
goes.
came out again.
No. I mean I don't blame them. It was a rough experience as a spectator. But yeah, no, that's my early memories of us playing are definitely being terrified of singing and being really like being way too compensatory with my guitar volume, cranking that up, and just generally speaking, not really walking away from with a feeling that we crushed it.
Yeah.
for years.
For
I'd say.
many years. But we got there.
Yeah, of course we did. I mean, we're fucking here, are we not?
Yeah.
Look at that thing. Look at that. It's a Sony, dude. You think we could get here? Without crushing it?
Without that guy?
We could get a Sony without crushing it? I don't think so. I think that would be more of like a Hisense or something if we weren't.
Yeah.
What's your next question?
I have a few random ones. What is your least favorite song to play?
Least favorite song to play? Like excluding like the ones that from like the early years that like we don't touch.
Or just, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like the ones we haven't.
I guess
played in
like
fucking-
what would be expected to be in the Rolodex, not like.
I don't like. There's not much that I don't like playing. I think any like feelings of reservation come from me just being like, oh shit, how does that part go? Or like what did I write? Like I don't even know. But I would say they're the songs that like people know from like the last kind of 10 years or so. That my least favorite song to play. I'm just gonna have to go with "Done with Drugs." I gotta go with that one. I mean, I don't even mind playing it. It's just like it's so congested, the arrangement. There's no breathing space at all in it for me. That it's just and I like once we played a few times, then I don't mind it at all. But it's just there's just a little there's no space in it. There's just like a like in every
Shredding,
second.
dude, every second.
Yeah, but
That one is a shred fest.
what about you? What's your least favorite song?
I don't know. Mine is more. I was just thinking about it right now. Mine is more out of just like a personal sense of accomplishment, and maybe it's probably because we don't play it very much anymore. But like anytime we played Caroline recently, I haven't enjoyed it much. Only because I feel like I can't find like the like feeling as like good as I want.
Right.
So I just kind of feel like I'm like teetering.
You're looking for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that song's really out of practice, so that's probably
Yeah,
that
it's
feeling.
I don't know.
I think it's great. It's just
yeah, it's definitely the best song that I came back from Waterloo with. But kind of I think we also just played it a hell of a lot in that early phase, and so there's other ballads to play. 6/8's tough. What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do? Yeah, that one's, but it's still great. I don't know. The more I think about that question, the more I realize there's no good answer.
There's nothing I really like detest playing. I mean, like
But also, you don't want to be like, I fucking hate playing this song.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think I'm like not get like,
Shit.
I can't find myself being like, I fucking hate that song as a song. But you know, there's definitely some that are like, it's just a bit more. And again, I think it's a lot of just due out of like laziness. Like I can't, like what I have discovered though is like there is only so much like self-practicing on nil songs that I can do. Like we have to do it together to get it good. Mm-hmm. Like it's not, it's the kind of thing that you kind of have to just like run it a bunch of times to get it. But then I don't mind playing it as long once we get it cooking again. But yeah, some of the ones they're like, it's like they've been like dehydrated for like 5 years, and it's like takes very long and slow process of rehydrating them and reanimating them back to life because they feel really clunky when you first try them with big missing gaps.
Yeah, not knowing how to play certain things, as we discovered recently as we tried to play some old songs.
Yeah,
that we haven't touched in a while. You're just like, I know it.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No, I mean, it's just, it's weird getting to a place now where, like, there is so much material. I mean, you know, when we had 2 records, or, like, when we had, like, Master Volume and Higher Power and, like, you know, the minimum R&B kind of compilation and associated early material, I would say. But, like, 2 studio LPs, like, it's way easier being like, okay, we'll play this, we'll play that, we'll play this, and we'll play that, especially when we're supporting and we don't have the longest set to play with. But like, it was still kind of a challenge being like, well, we have to play that, we have to play that. It was like, well, you literally can't do them all. And then it was like, Fuck Art came in, and I was like, ooh, it's getting even a bit more dicey in terms of selecting things. Then we did Free Reign, and it's like, well, now you got some choices to make. And now it's like, brother, you're gonna have to kill a couple of your kids every night.
Yeah.
Like you cannot they will not all make it onto the dossier for the evening.
Can't do it every night.
But that's just how it goes. I mean, like I can't even imagine what, you know. I mean, I guess like when at the big stadium shows that I've been to, it's just like, well, it's just like hit, and then like here's something I want to play, and the crowd goes, and then hit, and it goes
Oh,
through.
for sure.
But, you know, some of the more artsy bands that we've seen, like, they don't even, you know, they might play a couple, but then they'll just play, like, this is what we want to do, and, you know, some people can get away with that better than
Sonic
others.
Youth, they'll just be like, and this is our whole new album.
So our whole new album.
And who knows what we'll play outside of that.
Yeah. But, I don't know, it is weird getting to a point where there's such a large... I mean, by our standards, like, you know, such a large catalog that every new song, like, still fills me with, like, a lot of excitement, but it's also like songs start falling between the cracks in a way that they didn't used to.
Right.
There was not the preponderance of material to have the luxury of allowing things to fall between the cracks. It
was just,
like,
these are the songs we
kind of have to play them all.
Yeah.
Or most of them.
Totally.
But, yeah, it's strange. It's a weird, I don't really know. There hasn't really been a hinge moment for that, but it's just like, it's kind of like you have to confront it when it comes time to actually make a set list.
Yeah, it's like, who's getting voted off the island tonight?
Yeah, better luck tomorrow.
Yeah, so, sorry.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna try. If this comes out before I don't know, it'll come out before a tour that we're coming to your city, and we hope that we get to play what you want. But you see what we're up against, folks. You see what we're up against. But yeah, I think honestly one of those things too about like it's a weird thing when people are like, you know, I drove all the way like 16,000 hours and you didn't play X song. It's like, well, listen, even though we're trying to make you all happy. We're not a bunch of like artsy fartsy muckaboos. Like we're here to do a rock and roll thing. But at a certain point it is like it's not all about you, dog. Like we got to consider more people, including ourselves, about what we do every night. You know, it's a weird balance of things. You know, and it definitely kind of like goes either direction depending on what we're trying to take on. But I don't know. You can't make everybody happy. You just can't. Just the way it goes.
Way it is.
4 minutes.
What was the first time that we played something and you were like, this is really good?
Like when we were working on music?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I felt that way pretty right away with Rotten Apples, but we'd never written a song before or had worked on music before, and it was just like, wow, this is fun.
Yeah, and I remember with that one, like I had worked on it so long in GarageBand. Like I remember trying to write vocals to it, but being just terrified of recording.
Yeah, I remember I was like, you can sing.
This is true.
You can do it. I can't.
I do vividly remember that conversation.
And then, but I don't know, then there was there's different things, it all built up, when you get to, a certain level where it was for me, it was cool, we made Rotten Apples. And then we made something Stole the Night and Ran was really felt like some kind of jump.
I remember writing that in my bedroom being like, oh yeah, I fucking gotta level up on that one.
And then I think Under the Orcas was next.
Yeah.
Because that one was really cool. And then obviously Caroline in that zone. And then Fucking Up Young is the real jump in that regard. That's one of those ones that, like I said before, when I think about playing something for hours on end with no change in the basement, we would just play the verses of that song, or just that part, because we didn't know what it was.
I hadn't written any further yet.
Yeah, that was. We probably played that for months.
We did play for months. But
Other things, but
I was bringing home. I remember a period there, in the fall of 2009, where I was bringing home songs pretty much every time we were jamming. I mean, there weren't that many songs, but it was I remember getting Bruto, bringing that one back.
Yeah, that was great.
And then here's a Bad Nil song, Broken Slinky. Not a good song.
I think it's cool, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, not my finest writing.
Record club. We're trying shit out.
Yes. Wrote that in the kitchen of my dilapidated student house. But yeah, there was some good tunes starting to happen, and then we had the verse of fucking Up Young forever, and I didn't know what to. I had kind of other parts, but nothing was really gelling. And then our mutual acquaintance almost died of alcohol poisoning, and he wasn't very receptive to messages about hey man, you're gonna die if you don't stop. He was not very receptive to that at all. And I remember coming home from the hospital and grabbing my guitar and writing the chorus, and it was a very sad day, but I felt better after that. And then I remember bringing that down to I remember the day that we plugged that in. It was in your dad's basement when we used to still jam. We kind of alternated between my parents' basement and your parents' basement. I remember that day really clearly. That was dope. Because then it was okay, now it's a song. It's no longer a jam. That felt really good.
Yeah, that did feel good.
I remember that was the only song that we were rehearsing it probably just a few days later at my parents' house, and we jammed it, and then we went upstairs, and I remember being does anybody else want to go down and play that one song again?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. And that was a very, very good memory of music for me.
Big time. No, it was a good time. And then I'm trying to think what were we making I don't remember if we've ever talked about this before, but there was a period of time, you know, where you and I and Dave at the time were working all at the
Messengers?
The Messengers together.
Yeah.
So our week revolved around our one shift on Friday,
Yeah.
right?
I think
we just
so.
worked one day a week.
One or two,
We
or
just
something
worked
like that.
one day a week Fridays, so we would get together to practice, kind of hoping that they wouldn't, because every once in a while they'd be like, it's not busy enough, don't come in.
Yeah.
Because we'd only go work 2.5 or 3 hours. We'd drive to Burlington or take the bus, which was like 2.5 hours. So we sometimes took the bus longer than we worked
Yeah.
to get paid no money to work at this kind of crappy job. Very crappy job. But I'm trying to remember. We were working a lot of stuff then. I just can't remember what it was. But if it was like, you guys don't have to come to work today, then it was like, cool, we can just either get drunk or keep working
Or both.
on music. Or both.
Yes.
Usually both.
Usually both. Yeah, no, that was the same time, like around Fucking Up Young and Bruto and everything that went into the original Smite, which was
Right.
repurposed.
Right. The first time we
Cinnamon.
tried to record a record.
Pissed my girlfriend off at the time real bad, wrote Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Verona
Long.
Verona Long. That one.
I think those are the ones that made it past the thing.
Yeah.
Because then the rest went to the record club.
Record Club, yeah, like Into the Sun
Mm-hmm.
and Broken Slinky
Yeah. There
and
was,
Bad Pisser Blues.
I'm trying to think, but there's another one.
There's 8.
I know there's 8. I'm trying to remember. That's 3.
Yeah. And I had Zombie I'd done, but we couldn't. We were hitting some hiccups in arranging it.
Yeah, that one was tough. Then we recorded that one later with Baby Fist.
Yeah.
And Hate as a Stone.
Yeah, I
was
had that
all-
one. I remember having that one. But
Fuck, what were the other 2 from that though? Oh, Panzer.
Panzer, yes.
Yeah, which is a cool song.
Yeah, it was cool.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool song. It was fun. That was fun.
That was a fun song. I think that's all of them. We missing anything?
I don't know. Count it.
Okay, Fucking Up Young, Verona Lung, Cinnamon, Panzer, Broken Slinky, Bruto,
Bad
Bad Pisser
Sun?
Blues, Into the Sun.
Yeah, I guess that is all of them.
Yeah,
There you go.
that was all of them. But no, that was a great time, honestly. That
Thanks
was
to Dave Disher for that one.
yes, thank you, Dave Disher. And but I don't know, man. I think like, how do you think that like when you think about how like looking at that early period of working on stuff, like what's changed? What's the same?
I think that for the most part we work the same way. I don't think much has changed. I think you I've always gotten more confident as a songwriter and taken leaps as like how you write songs, and like I can like mark it like album by album almost, depending like where you take your jumps, I think, when I think about it. But I think you've only got more confident, which has led you to write more often and easier than you used to.
Well, thank you. I definitely am. I don't know. I think that I used to
And even freer, in a freer way.
definitely freer, definitely more prolific. I definitely in the early times, I had very. I would have all these kind of fits and starts with doing stuff and being like, well, I need to trick myself into doing this. And anytime like I'd write a song in like one sitting, I'd be like, how did I just do that? I need to replicate that. And I studied all these different people talking about it and all, and then I just became very superstitious about it and cagey and being like, well, I only write when I feel like it. And then you guys would be like, well, when are you going to write another song again? Because we were playing the same songs over and over again. And it took me a long time to realize that, no, I just have to fucking grind it all the time. And, it's like anything. Like, if you fucking work on it all the time, like, good things will happen. There are certainly times where I'm like, all right, I got to put this down for a second. But usually that's kind of like, I've worked on this one particular song too long and I'm getting a little lost in it. I got to put it on the back burner and try some different stuff, and this one will come around. Mm-hmm. But it's usually like when I put like huge expectations on something, that's kind of like still in its infant stages. It's usually when things get screwed.
I'm sure managing other people's expectations and stuff like that too.
That's for sure.
Influence or input or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's always kind of been like a challenging balance of like what is required and needed from like, a band in terms of like contributing, but also like what, because I feel like in opposite directions, like we've had times where like I'm just gonna bring in a riff and we'll just jam it, and then things go fucking catastrophic because like, well, I have an idea, and like straight up like my writing style in this band is like, I can't, especially when it comes to like massive structural things or anything to do with singing or chords and stuff, like I don't really have much of an opening for that because it just doesn't work for me in this particular context. Like so then it's like on the opposite direction, if I've brought in something that's like too fully completely realized, then it's like, then it's an equal challenge in a different direction. There's like, I feel like there's like a nice middle ground. And then sometimes like we can just pick up our instruments and like we'll write together and like, something will happen in the room that feels awesome. But I don't think you can plan on that. I think you just need to like capitalize when those moments present themselves. But in the times where I've like relied on like, well, fuck you, like I'm not gonna spend any of my time writing away from you guys because you guys aren't doing any fucking work. Fuck you. Like in those times, things were predictably not very good. They didn't go very well. So it's definitely, I gotta put in a good 5 or 10 hours for every hour that we work on music, but that's the way it goes. Like but I love it now. I didn't used to like it. Like I didn't like the pressure, and we were young idiots and like probably didn't have the best like communication strategies with each other, and formed different opinions and stuff as time went on, and developed, when the new song machine, particularly in the early years, when that would kind of start slowing down or grinding to a halt, then I found like a lot of problems would start developing, and it, like predictably so, because it doesn't feel like it's your only real sign of like forward momentum, because nobody's coming, like, you're getting the same, you haven't started like touring and stuff, so you can't really, we didn't have many, like the future and like, success was always this kind of like, oh, that's in the future, mm-hmm. Like, and like when there wasn't a whole lot of like ton of new music to work on, it definitely, new music was like the only real currency that gave you any kind of, or gave me any kind of feeling of like, oh, we're moving forward, we're getting better. Mm-hmm. But when that kind of stuff like stopped or got seized up, it presented itself in many ugly ways, I felt.
Totally. When do you think we found our stride with that? How that works? Because obviously you bring the music and I just try to play along or make my suggestions when I think.
Yeah, we arrange it together. We rock it. But sometimes, like, we write together.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of been, what I've realized is that, like, I think it's also just, like, straight up, like, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, my own mental state about, like, how, because I find you to be a very reliable, consistent person to play with, and it's often, like, my own machinations that are kind of, like, determine how like not a practice, but like some sort of creative, like working on music session is gonna go. And the more prepared I am for it, the better I feel. Cause I'm just like, cause I like, there's nothing better than when I have like, when I can walk in and be like, all right, listen up, daddy's bringing some heat in the
There you
room.
go.
Rather than like showing up and be like, well, I don't really know, like I've got like, what if we did a song in the key of C today, like, and you're like, sure, like if you're always very supportive, but like if I don't bring the goods, then like I'm not going to be able to get myself into a psychological state where like we're going to be able to get much traction.
Yeah,
That's what I've found.
No, I get that. Sometimes it's just not there. But I think it's like, and I know I'm not always the easiest read. Sometimes I have I don't get a lot of extreme reactions a lot, but I think you can tell when I'm buzzing on something.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm happy that I can still be buzzing on music we make, because I'm sure that doesn't happen for everybody.
No.
Just like, this is sick. Can't help myself but smile playing whatever this new thing is we're making.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like ties back to what we were talking about in terms of like, you know, I do feel this weird, like when we were talking about, you know, how our catalog is expanding. Yeah. And like, I think like if I can push a little deeper into that and be completely honest, like one of the weird negative like emotions that I get about that is that like songs don't have the same weight that they used to, or like they're not as inflated in terms of value as they used to, because it's just like that sometimes to me is like a negative thing, you know, like where it's like, because like when you're
in terms of how you feel about that.
Well, how I feel about it, and like also just like, well, it's just gonna be a fucking like album track and people aren't gonna, but I still like that's just a feeling that like that is it's the way, it's kind of the way it's kind of the way it goes to a certain extent. That doesn't mean that that your feelings about what you make they're important, but like they're not everything. Like other people hear different things in songs that I don't. Right. You know?
Because once you put it out there, it's no longer the idea that you had. It's like now this person hears it and they get their idea. And for some reason you love this song, but everyone really actually loves this
song.
Totally.
And sometimes the ones that you like slave over the hardest are just like whatever. And the like the easiest going ones are the ones that really connect with people. But like the counterpoint to that kind of like inflation or like I'd say like sometimes it feels like in my mind like the deflationary aspect of new music is that like it's freeing for me personally, because it's just like I don't care, you and I could fucking, that's the new Nil song, fuck you, like it doesn't matter. Like,
and that's actually what we're working on right now.
That's exactly what this is, actually a recording session. But no, but you know what I mean though, like it is a return, like the thing that animates me now isn't like when I'd say like I have no idea how long our career is gonna go. I hope it goes until we're fucking 1,000 years old. I have no idea. But like in terms of where we are right now, like if you look at kind of like our mid period where like we had a lot of outside pressure, we weren't making any money, we had financial pressure, and it was just like I felt that intensely when it was just like I've got to make something, I've got to write a song that's going to turn our fortunes around. Like it's as fucking cliche and stupid as that sounds, it was the reality of the time. Like it was like, listen, higher power got us on the map, but it wasn't paying the bills, brother. It was, people knew of us because of it, but like, you know, it like they weren't gonna play it on the radio. Like it didn't matter how many radio edits got done. It was, you know, it was higher power. What are you gonna do? And so like, you know, especially leading into Master Volume and then beyond Master Volume, like into Fuck Art, I was just like, I was murdering myself with pressure. And
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the hardest. It seemed like that was like the hardest it was ever to make music. Not that we didn't make good music or had good times doing it. That just felt like a struggle.
yeah, various factors.
That's probably the hardest record to make.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't my least favorite recording experience that we've had. It's not my, it's definitely below or towards the bottom in terms of.
Well, I
like,
guess sometimes I forget that we had to split it up because of COVID and everything. But
honestly, like the parts, like the only reason why I like Fuck Art, like, is I still have a lot of like cherished memories around making it is because like it was the only thing that kept me sane, like doing it with Adam, like having something to work on with him was awesome. And like, even though it was hell at the time, like doing all the guitars in 2 days, I remember that very fondly now. Like it wasn't fun at the time though, and my wrist was seized for a week after doing that. But like, yeah, I mean, I think the most amount of pressure that I felt was during that period.
oh, for sure. And then I was weird to learn about that weird backdoor conversations that were happening around our music and stuff like that.
Losing kind of control over it.
But we still got to make. It still got to be what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, we made it. We made what we wanted to make, but we had to fight many forces to see it through. But
Yeah.
I would say that post that, and like basically the pandemic was really excellent for my songwriting output. Like, cause I rediscovered, like we started the band because I had GarageBand, wrote one song in it that I labored over for months and months and months and months.
Yeah.
And then we played it. And then like wrote a couple more in GarageBand. Like that's how the band started basically, is because like all the songs that I wrote in GarageBand originally were like fucking 6 minutes long. Cause it was like, there's a part and then there's another part.
Oh,
there's gotta be a
so
big
long.
build up and like you're learning how.
I don't think you start singing in Rotten Apples for the first minute
7
and a half
minutes.
of the
Yeah,
song.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's all intro.
and
It's all
2 parts happen.
Yeah, it's crazy how long it takes for the
Yeah.
vocals to kick in. But like the first songs that like we really started making, like where I stopped using GarageBand and we were like, I was writing them on my guitar, not recording them, or like writing bits of it, and then we would jam it out to finish writing it. That's when we took like kind of a leap forward. But then I kind of feel like during the Fuck Art era, like I became way too dependent on like bouncing my ideas off of other people to like finish my fucking song that I'm trying to like bring in, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I felt like I was wasting everybody's time too. Like that, like it's just like I just got to work on this myself, but then I'd work on it myself and I'd get psyched out. And so during the pandemic, when I had access to just like, okay, I can plug in my guitar and I can sing and I can like, be like, this part sucks, that part's whatever. That really inspired me. And also just like obviously having nowhere to be, like, but
Yeah.
I could just I could be like, this song, it's okay that this song is stupid. Like, cause tomorrow I'll work on a different one. It just kind of took away from me the feeling that like every single song has to be the best thing ever. Like I think that's stupid. Like it's stupid pressure to put on yourself, but I understand where it comes from. I've lived it, and at times I still fucking feel it. I'm just like, where you just kind of like, sometimes I'll come up with like a guitar part and I'm like, this is the best thing about it. Like, I have to make sure that this is the best. And I'm like, look, remember where this gets us? This gets us into this.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, okay, what's going to make us happy is the only thing that I care about. That's the counterpoint when I was saying about like the deflation, devaluation of like each song is like the counterpoint is that who the fuck knows who cares what I think about our music? Mm-hmm. Who cares what you think about it? It's what other people think. Like at the end of the day, like we have our own thoughts about it and that's great, but other people are free to their own thoughts. Our goal or my goal for us is to like make shit that makes us happy rather than like ticks a box or makes other people happy.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like that's how we got, back down from Free Reign through to the Lash, is just making music that makes us really stoked again and kind of regaining that feeling that, yeah, we can do whatever we want to do.
We can do whatever the fuck we want to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
We can say whatever the hell we want.
yeah. Got that mother friggers. No, I mean, it's a weird thing because it's kind of like, it's liberating, and it's honestly like, I've never enjoyed making new music as much. Like, it's kind of like in the early stages, it was a lot of fun because it's just completely novel and there's zero outside expectations. But after we released our first EP, that was the first time I felt like, oh my God, like I have to follow this. I have to come up with a bunch of new songs now. You mean that I can't like spend the rest of my life just playing these 6 songs? And like, I viewed new music as a burden, and I continued to view it as a burden. And to a certain extent, like, still once in a while, that sentiment kind of creeps its way into my mind. But like, it's completely overpowered by the feeling of just like, well, no, nobody, like, we can do whatever we want. Nobody's forcing us to do anything. And there is no feeling like laying down a banger that nobody's heard yet. Like being like, that fucking rules.
Yeah, people are going to hear this and it's going to be sick. But I also think you got to prep yourself for my least favorite feeling of making music sometimes is what I always think. I always think the first listen back to any music that you make is always the worst time.
Do you?
To hear, yeah, always, because it's like so worked up in your brain. You work so hard on this thing. So like, you kind of have to like get killed a little bit to be like, and you have to go through this whole like, oh no, it doesn't sound rebuild. Like shit. You're like, like your heart's racing, your blood is pumping really fast, and you're just like, you're hearing everything, and you're like, it sounds kind of wonky. Like, is this right? Is that the fill I played?
Yeah. Is that really what I sound like?
Is this song too slow or too fast?
Yeah.
And then you gotta like be like, okay, I'm gonna listen to that like in a week. And then I won't touch it for like a few days. And then I've like settled down in my nerves or my excitement or whatever, my worries, whatever spins around in my head.
I think that there's an arc.
Goes away.
There's an arc to enjoyment and like there's an arc of enjoyment and like dread or resentment that like I've had with like every song, like, or like it's almost like a sine wave, like, and I think like the cycles get longer and shallower as time goes by. But like, I agree with you. Like the first, like when we have the song in the room, the arrangement's done, or like, say if I write something, like I'm like, this is really good, and then like if I bring it in and it's kind of like, well, the arrangement's going slow. It's like, maybe this song kind of sucks. And then we like get the arrangement really good and it sounds great. And then we record it and I'm like, but does it really sound like that? And I'm like, no, this recording fucking rips. And then, like and then it just kind of fades off into the distance.
People start saying the words back to you and it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. I mean, like, I think that every recording that we have made has driven me insane. Like every single one. I mean, other than
that's making art.
Listen, I think that there's an acceptable and probably like optimal level of crazy to experience in any like heavy duty creative endeavor so that you're engaged, like you're doing your best. There's definitely a tipping point, and we have hit that. Like we've hit that at I'd say around the fuck art period.
Oh, for sure.
I think that at the end of the day, I always have to remind myself, like, this is rock and roll. Like we're not doing open heart surgery on children here. This is fucking.
We're just having a good time.
We're having a good time. We're singing songs about like blowing up things in the woods. Like this should be a good time. Let's not get. It is so easy to get lost in the sauce on all this stuff.
Yeah, but you gotta ride it. You gotta ride it to get through.
Indeed.